and very happy to have you here today with us. The meeting today is dedicated to presenting a new product and a new product concept, and that's going to be a system which will make a lot of arrangements in many human lives. So basically, we are talking now about the project where health, smart technology, and income growth come together. And that's not just words. Let's see. How do we stay in sync with our life? The company behind this is company 14 Hours. It's based in Florida in the US. And basically, that's a company that has quite a lot of different certifications, awards, recognitions, and so on. We're going to talk about the product a bit later, but just to tell you, the product has all possible certifications and rewards you can imagine. What is it about? In fact, it's about circadian rhythms. Circadian rhythm is not something generic, like you would say, it's about human biorhythms, it's about timing and so on. No, it's way more than that. It's, let's put it that way. Sorry. If you correct your circadian rhythm, then in the nighttime, in the morning, in the daytime, evening, like any time of the day, you will have so much better functionality of your body. You will have so much higher energy level. You will have so much more sync with your nature that basically so many things will be just incredibly different, and they will be so much more in line with what you're supposed to have in your life just by your natural DNA code, right? So, for example, people say, well, of course it's important to sleep, but it's not only the sleep, Of course, sleep provides energy, sleep ensures mental clarity, sleep ensures basically calmness and a lot of slowdown of aging processes and many, many things, like, your ability to study, your ability to build relationships, your well-being, in fact, right? But there are very simple things behind it, like cortisol and melatonin, levels and balance. So they have their own timings. And pretty much the circadian rhythm is more or less the corridor between cortisol and melatonin. Yeah. So that's simply put. Yeah. And then what happens for many people is that, as simple as it sounds, it's not being the case. So in the morning, people wake up not rested. During the day, when they're supposed to perform at their highest level, they cannot because they feel brain fog, anxiety, tired and so on. And then in the afternoon, you're so low on energy that very often lots of people just want to have a cup of coffee or something like that. And that's not really necessary. But in the evening, usually we spend a lot of time with the gadgets, or at least most people in the world today. Yeah. So, I mean, that's how the regular day of a adult person looks today. But the hidden issue behind it is dysregulated circadian rhythm. So when you wake up tired, when you gain weight where you kind of could have skipped it, right? When you have weaker immune system than you naturally should, when you have this absolutely unexpected drop of energy, or you're irritated where it somehow is coming out of nowhere, right? It's pretty much usually about the circadian rhythms not working as they should, not being synced with your, let's put it, internal compass. Because what helps you regulate the sleep, have decent energy, have all the functions of your body at the top level, is the hormonal level, is your circadian rhythm being regulated very well. And that's way more than just good sleep. So it's very much about who you are as a person through how you perform. So it's clearer thinking. It's natural glow from within. What does that mean? It's not just words. This glow is the natural beauty that is based on how much energy we have, how our hormones function, right? And for lots and lots of people, this disruption of these hormone cycles is simply based on not being in sync with your circadian rhythm. And for lots of people in the world now, it's a big problem. You know, the planet is aging, as we know, and then this maintaining the aging quality, let's say, yeah, maintaining your strength as you age is so connected to the circadian rhythms. So what has the biggest effect? What can be the biggest issue in that case, right? Pretty much anything related to performance, because we are talking now about living at the top of your, you know, at the peak of your performance capacity at any age, right? So lots of people, and the statistics say that about 60% of people in the world are now going through non-stop stress just because they lack sleep, right? Or they lack sleep because they're in stress. Whichever combination works for you, you know, it can be either case. Approximately 32% loss of focus and memory, or decline, right, happens when we are not in sync with our circadian rhythm. Imagine we lose 1/3 of our capacity just because we are not living according with our circadian rhythm, right? And then, of course, you know, the heart disease risk and the, you know, the blood vessel problems and everything is also very much related to, you know, not sleeping well and disrupted circadian rhythms. And it's about like double the norm. Why are we talking about this? Well, because our company, our team has come up with a solution to this. And this is the product that you see on the screen. It's called 14 hours. Why 14 hours? Because during the day, we're supposed to function at this within this period of time. I mean, 14 hours is the minimum number of hours that a healthy human being that is being in sync with the circadian rhythms can truly be, you know, effective, happy, efficient, and, you know, powerful, and so on. So this product is a science-backed solution for daily usage, with based on strictly herbal components, and basically it's the one that is the circadian rhythm fixer. Yeah. Very important. Why it works better than anything you might possibly consider? Well, because it's based on the technology, which is based on fermentation. And fermentation is a very, very special natural process where we enable basically the full capacity of the plant, the full extraction of active compounds out of the herbal raw material. And it helps to increase bioavailability, bioaccessibility of active compounds effortlessly, and without using, you know, extra energy, extra cost, extra additives, and so on. So as natural as it is, we take the plant, we ferment it, and the complex compounds disassemble into the simple, which are available for the body to use them and benefit from them. The product consists of 3 formulas. This is the morning formula called AM. It is based on very, very cool herbs, which is ashwagandha, fenugreek, aleothera root, ginger, cardamom, maca root, mucuna seeds. Some of them you know, some of them you don't. But trust me, the combination of these components together, fermented, provides these effects. Easy wake up, really nice, clear mind in the morning. And what has been already reported, I mean, what has been already given us as a feedback from, you know, many, many consumers is that you wake up with joy, you know? So basically you start your morning with a product that is kind of promoting the, you know, the extra energy, the joy, and that's coming in a seamless, effortless, really, really smooth way, you know? So it supports concentration, it boosts the energy, it actually substitutes a cup of coffee. Then what happens next during the day? You know, after a few hours, after you used AM, after a few hours after this, you would feel normally some kind of either brain fog or kind of like burnout, you know? So intellectually, we human beings are not really meant to work intellectually for that long, you know? So a few hours of focused mental work is usually like burning out most of the energy like you're kind of meant to spend during the day. So noon is our answer to this. It's made of herbs and Here we introduce one more ingredient, which is mushroom. Yeah, it's called lion's mane. It's a very interesting adaptogen and a very powerful nootropic. And then basically the formula is based on ginkgo biloba, bacopa manieri, licorice root, gotu kola, berberry root, catnip, and ginseng. And what it does, it basically unlocks this, this second half of the day for intellectual performance. So you are already tired after a few hours from the morning, and then you need to continue. You need to go on. You take the noon, and after 15, 20 minutes normally, the brain is like refreshed as if you basically took shower for, for your mental health. So peak performance, stress relief, maintaining focus, healthy libido, happy mood. This is the kind of things that have been shared with us by people who have been taking it for several months. And this is what basically was meant for, yeah. And the evening, yeah. So morning, day are fine. And now we are approaching the evening and we need to go to bed. And then that's a totally different direction. That's a totally different setup, and it's totally different needs of the body. So in that sense, we need to prepare for sleep, yeah. So, but preparing for sleep in a sedative way is not a good idea, yeah. So our formula for PM made of chamomile, lavender, holy basil, peppermint, scallop, oat tops provides the calmness in a non-sedative way, and it helps you literally to drift off to sleep, like like you're like in a calm, soft water, swimming off and falling asleep very softly, very nicely. Yeah, that's what it meant for. And then it sets and provides the basics for the good night's sleep and waking up in the morning fresh and full of energy. What is really good about this is that you can do your own checkups and you can do your own kind of clinical studies in a way right on your hand. So for that, we have included the gadgets. We started using sleep monitors, we started using stress monitors and so on. So we use our own mobile app, and we connect it to existing and we connect it to existing gadgets. So for example, if you've got a Samsung watch, or if you've got an Apple Watch, or if you've got for example a Google Fitbit bracelet, that's all fine. The data from these gadgets is going to get uploaded into the app, and you will see how your circadian rhythm is working based on your own data. And then that data is going to reflect and explain to you how your body functions and where you can improve. And in that sense, an AI assistant is not going to only analyze it, it's going to recommend, So it's from now on and, up front, you can rely on the advices and you can rely on the recommendations from the app that has been developed for this purpose. So not only you can take some food supplements, like normally that's the thing. You take some food supplements and you have no idea how they function. You have no idea what's the effect of those food supplements on your life, on your performance, and so on. You have a subjective opinion about that. With this app, you will see after several days of usage how the drops affect your circadian rhythm and how your health is changing. A little bit of boasting, a few words. This technology that is behind this product has been awarded multiple times around the world. Yes, so for several years in a row, it has been awarded to be like the best the best in the world plant-based innovation. And then there were CL Innovation Awards in Paris, and then in London, the company has been awarded as one of the top 500 food tech companies in the world. So not only this product is really cool, it's pretty much quite decorated as well. The kids are our pride and hope in a way, yeah. Why I jump from awards to the kids, because I think kids are much more important than any awards. What happens is that now Generation Alpha is like really young kids. They have a lot of problems, yeah? Like everybody complains about that. You know, you speak to any parent pretty much and they would complain about lack of focus. Almost every kid has ADHD all of a sudden, you know, and then their attention system is underdeveloped and their brain functions pretty much differently, you know, because they have so much interaction with so much information, so much data context on an ongoing basis, which has never happened before, you know. So these kids are extremely overloaded mentally, you know, and then they obviously spend less time outdoors. And this product is extremely good for these young kids to establish healthy circadian rhythm, not fix them, but establish, because most of them do not have this circadian rhythm habit, let's say. Their patterns are different. You know, for example, my younger kid is an alpha, and I see that it's very hard for him to go to bed on time. It's very hard for him to wake up in the morning, not because he's a night owl, just because, you know, he belongs to this generation. And these drops actually do the job, you know. So let's go to another group of people, you know, another group of kids. These factors of decline in mathematics and decline in reading skills and so on is now very standard and very clear for the younger generations. And I can tell you that, you know, their brain functions in a way that it's really hard for them to focus. And it comes to the same story. It comes to circadian rhythms. Speaking of Generation Z, these are the kids born between 97 and 2012. And they're a bit different from alphas, right? They not for a reason. They have been given a different name and named a different generation. Their nervous system cannot possibly allow itself to really take rest because they're so afraid to kind of, you know, lose some information. They are constantly alerted, and this constant alertness doesn't let them actually take rest and recover, restart, refresh their system, and so on. So major metrics, let's say, of this generation. We're talking about problems that we are possibly going to solve with our solution, the gadgets, the app, and the food supplement, which is 14 hours. Guys often have low testosterone. That's a disaster. You know, that's the planet is in danger. Who's gonna produce the next generations, right? So they don't really get involved in sports, or at least not as ambitious and not as straightforward, you know, so they treat it more as an entertainment. They have reduced focus. They have a lot of impulsivity, which means they can be quite aggressive for no reason. And that is, that is creating quite a lot of stress for the parents and for the society around them. But girls are not any better in that sense, because they've got usually very severe PMS symptoms, which is not only the nervousness, it's also a lot of pain and so on. And they often feel very sleepy. That's like a very interesting factor, very interesting symptom that's been noticed and kind of highlighted by lots of doctors, you know. So not only they're like kind of low on energy, they have all these set of things like, you know, depression, anxiety, brain fog, and so on. And they're kind of like, you know, being in this jelly broth as if it's a normal thing. So for us, the main goal for such kids would be to basically kind of brush or kind of balance their nervous system so that they simply have the opportunity to kind of restore their capacity and recover. Yeah. And very interesting facts about Gen Z. Their attention mistakes are normal at the 30% level, meaning for them it's okay to make mistakes which are attention driven in 30% of the cases. So when you need to get a surgery someday, make sure you're not being operated by a Gen Z doctor, because you might be one of the 3 people who suffer from such an interference. Yeah. Approximately 40% of them experience ongoing stress and feel mental pressure. Feel doesn't mean it exists. They sense it from within because they are not coping with a number of tasks. They're not generating as many neuronal connections as necessary for this. And another factor that is kind of sensitive, but at the same time is very important to consider, is that their low testosterone level, as I mentioned before, is generating a lot of health issues, because testosterone is not only a libido driving hormone, it's a hormone necessary for lots and lots of other functions, like even decision making. So when you see a doubting and hesitating Gen Z dude, that's fine. Most of the time it's based on their circadian rhythm disruption, right? Millennials, well, most people in our team are millennials, and then like as a millennial woman, I can tell you that yes, being overloaded with too many responsibilities, with too many tasks, is not a piece of cake, and that's what the whole generation is being kind of attributed. And that's not only because we don't get enough sleep, not only because we have a lot of work and family problems and so on, but also it's pretty much this emotional exhaustion and overwhelming based on hyper responsibility, in fact. Yeah. So poor sleep causes high cortisol level. High cortisol level causes less recovery, or they result in fatigue and stress, and it's going in the loop. So this loop is endless. And the only way to basically break this loop is to get really serious about your circadian rhythms. And that's where 14 hours can be such a blessing, such a fixer, So for emotional harmony, for better sleep, for better relationships, for overall balance and so on, 14 hours is actually quite good, So you can go to psychologists, you can do massage and everything, take your spa sessions and so on. But in general, your hormones still need some, let's say, biochemical support, and that's coming from the herbs. Yeah. The millennial guys, this is a big story now, because most of the high-rank professionals these days are millennials, and many of them are men, obviously, and they do have so many financial responsibilities. Their ambition and their competition level is incredibly high, and just because they're constantly stressed because of that, they really cannot perform on the due level, And what happens? They are ending up with sleep deprivation. They're ending up with lower testosterone levels. They are feeling chronic burnout, and they are kind of being, in this condition when it's just not working out. And for 14 hours, we see this, major goal here. I mean, how we can help them is just maintain higher productivity. These guys want to perform. These guys want to deliver. These guys want to be, really on top of the world. And what helps them is basically, in this case, 14-hour drops, because they help to maintain this high performance level. It's not some kind of just nootropic booster. No, it's about creating the capacity from within, so where efficiency is growing, not because you're just kicking it, not because you're just boosting and, promoting it and kind of massaging. No, it's just becoming a stable long-term result, so vitality and stamina, stress resilience, clarity of mind, and ability to maintain long hours of focus. That's critical for millennial men, and that's what can be possibly done, and possibly achieved with 14-hour drops. Now, Generation X, it's people born between 1965 and 1980. And for women, for example, obviously due to the age, the major problem these days is the perimenopause and menopause. And why 14 hours could be a good solution for them is because all those symptoms that are attributed to perimenopause and menopause are basically the result of the hormonal ups and downs, and that's where 14 hours is just the best. So the chronic stress, this estrogen level estrogen level ups and downs results, and this, loss of collagen, all this, aging kind of symptoms, let's put it that way. They can and should be kind of helped. They should be regulated. And at that age, I cannot say just, okay, you just need to sleep a little bit more. No, that's not enough anymore. So we call for the herbs. And in that sense, for women of Generation X, herbs through fermentation, which we use in 14 hours, become like really, really a lifesaver. It's really, really deep. It's very consistent and very durable effect. So the main goal is obviously slow down the aging, whatever it takes, whatever it means in that moment, because the problem is coming from the hormones. Let's fix the hormones, or at least help that, and the aging naturally would slow down. So reducing the stress and worry and improving the sleep quality will naturally, cause their focus and attention growth, and maintain this hormonal balance as stable as possible. Yeah. For men of this generation, well, I guess it's quite logical. Quite a lot of men, and we see this in supplement market. There's so many products helping, manpower and so on. Well, testosterone level at this age naturally declines, and that's also very much the reason why circadian rhythms should become the focus. Because when the circadian rhythm is regulated, when it's being respected, and when it's being literally, lived from morning to evening, then the chronic stress that these men usually experience naturally goes down. You can fulfill more, you can perform better, and all these problems that very often are being mentioned, like, kind of slower mental capacity, kind of problems with decision making, again, testosterone, remember, yeah, all these kind of things start kind of backing down, because your circadian rhythm regulated and well powered, let's say, is going to kind of bring back that natural capacity of just, natural powers, and stabilize testosterone, by the way, as well. So the goal for 14 hours, yeah, what do we offer to this man is being more energetic, being more confident, and basically maintaining the hormonal balance again. So I'm speaking about hormones all the time, right? Like hormones, hormonal balance, hormonal this, hormonal that. But why? Well, it is very, very important, because, for example, now if you look at the statistics, and if you look at the job markets, for example, as well, yeah, the so-called age discrimination is becoming quite obvious. In the old days, if you were about 60, nobody would give you a job. Then up until recently, if you are like 50 plus, nobody is willing to give you a job. And then now we're getting to the point where, like, probably 40 and something plus, you're already out of market, pretty much. Yeah. So this kind of statistics are very discouraging, but that's true, So for example, the retirement age all over the world keeps rising, right? So it used to be 55, 60, then 60, 65. Now it's 60, 67, 70, the average retirement age, meaning you have to be in shape, you have to perform, and you have to produce results for a much longer time than it used to be. Yeah. And yeah, of course, for this, aging population, their skills, especially now with AI, becomes so outdated that it's really important to learn something else instead, and to maintain the mental capacity and the learning capacity at at the perfect shape, at least as good as possible, right? So that said, speaking of baby boomers, these people are, everybody knows who baby boomers are. They were born after the Second World War. They're referred to as the happiest generation ever, That's the first generation to live longer and stay active into the retirement. But these days, the statistics, especially in the US, by the way, prove that this generation now has a curse of its own, right? So there's so many mental and memory and cognitive kind of problems, Alzheimer, dementia. It's quite a pandemic in a way at a certain age, And they also experience low melatonin production, which is kind of natural in a way, but that has to be handled. It's not a sentence. It's not a death sentence, You got to deal with that. So another thing is that they lack is they have not enough social activity. Look at our moms, For example, like I look at my mom, who is 73, and she's pretty much not communicating with anybody except for her old good friends, Recently, she visited some and she was so happy. She slept better. She was full of energy and so on, So for these people, for baby boomers, we have a solution through 14 hours, which is basically quite simple: maintaining their functionality, keeping their independence, and stay mentally fit. As simple as it sounds, it is a crucial parameter for this generation these days. Yeah, because they need to live many years more, or hopefully they will. But how you live them, that's major thing. Yeah. So we've been through many generations, Alpha, X, millennials, all together. Yeah. So throughout the generations, the product that can provide a solution to all the family members, I think is a very, very cool box to have at home, right? So these fermented herbs fit literally for every generation. That's a very important factor. And it's universal in that sense. And yes, for each generation, it's going to do its own job. Why? Because it balances the hormones, and it will do the job for each and every age and gender and generation. Yeah. So we're done with the product presentation, but it was not, this meeting was not strictly about the product, right? Because many of you already know about the product, but I would love to present also how this product can become a new business opportunity, and how you can make money with it. So you probably know what's network marketing business. Yeah. Don't confuse with any with any other business models. It's very important to have an opportunity to create your own business and earn the income which depends strictly on you. And that's the business for the growing health and wellness market. Yeah. Network marketing business is not only less risk, because you don't need to invest, big capital into this, or actually no capital in this case. It's potentially your financial freedom based on a flexible schedule. And you also get support and training from your sponsors and your peers and so on. How does it work? After a few weeks of taking 14 hours, every person reports better sleep, less anxiety, more energy, better memory, better happiness, better this, better that. So that means, since the product works, a lot of people will want to use it, right? And then, yes, it's truly a lot of people, because this market has grown by 5 times over the last 10 years. And this sleep tech market is almost $28 billion. And the forecast is that it's gonna grow by 143 billion. the circadian rhythm concept is not something that we've invented. You know, in 2017, it has been rewarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine. And basically, a lot of gadgets now have created the habit. So combining the product and the tech part together, we actually, in a way, are going to compete with Google, Samsung, and Apple, or better say, join the trend, you know? So these companies are already building a circadian rhythm niche in their businesses because they have acknowledged that this is a huge and growing, fast-growing market. Yeah. Why this type of business? We've tried many business models throughout our business activity in the biotech world, in nutraceuticals, in food tech, and so on. We realized that we don't want to give money to the corporations. We've spent huge budgets in Facebook, Instagram, Amazon, and so on. And we don't want to give money to these guys anymore. You know, these big corporations, they're not giving back to the world. So that's why we decided that we're going to just give this money, this same money, to the real people. Yeah. So we put the marketing in the hands of real people who have already tried the product. And this means we are going to leave the corporations aside. Yes. So that's what network marketing business is in our understanding. That's what we do. And that's what we are going to, convert into a super high growth in a super fast moving business. And that's how it works, basically. So one box costs $75. And then with that, you get 5% reward when you buy it, yeah? And if you buy 2 boxes, I mean, it's just $150, but then you get higher reward. And, that's a very standard pack for couples, for, mom and daughter, and so on. And there's a family pack or team pack, which is $225. And in that case, if you go for such, triple pack, then you get 10% reward back. So not only you can, get yourself and your loved ones or who you care for healthier, but also you make money with that. Yeah. So how does it work? If you sign up just 5 to 7 friends for a subscription, yeah, by the way, it's a subscription product. It's not something that, has to be, sold. No, people who understand the benefits of it, they just sign up for subscription and they start using it on a monthly basis. And you can use your own pack every month for free if you sign up just 5 to 7 friends. Let's see how that works, So if you have one partner, for example, yeah, you get a 5% bonus and 5% cash back. If you have, and that's your personal sales, right? So, I mean, that's something that you have sold directly or you have recommended directly and people signed up. And that's based on a personal link. And then if you go deeper in that, 2 people is 7%, 3 people is 10%, and then up to 15 people, you can get up to 20%. And it's like really, really generous, to be honest. I mean, we've done the comparison throughout the industry, and then we just want to share it with the people. So that's why these numbers. Let's do some math. How do I make I'm quite an ambitious person, for example. Yeah, it's like my first question was, okay, how do I make around $100,000 per year? That sounded quite crazy at the beginning, but then the math is very simple. On the model, when you start engaging more and more and more sellers, so not only you gonna recommend to a few friends or whatever this product, but you teach them to, let's say, recruit other sellers. Yeah, then in that case, already when you have a structure of 6 levels, yeah, so your friend recruited somebody else, that person recruited somebody else, and so on and so on, up to 6 levels. Like you already get 112,000, and that's huge money, actually. If you think about having it in a free schedule and not invest in huge capital. Like this product alone to be born required so much capital. Like, trust me, that's quite a challenging kind of story. So when I see now that we can, share business with other people without this need for that much capital, that feels really great. So each partner can invite 5 partners with, up to 12 qualifications, with potential infinity bonus, structure bonus, and so on. If you invite people consistently, then with 7 levels, you can get up to $700,000 per month. That's crazy. That's not easy to, to construct that. And please do not confuse it with any financial pyramids or anything like that. It's a real product with real people built for many, many years, so that's a different story. How can you make sure that it works? Well, you can just, talk to your sponsors and see how, how the system gives back. Okay. Speaking of other perks, if you join as a partner, then in that case you share the company's revenue with certain qualifications. Then there's leaders funds, which is 1.5%, president's funds, which is also another 1.5%, and the fund equals 1.5% of the monthly BV turnover and is distributed among all leaders based on their shares. So your payout is the share value multiplied by number of your shares. Pretty logical, but that's going to be a subject of other meetings. We have also scheduled and designed a Millionaires Club for top leaders, and that's going to be based on high rank qualifications. So basically, it's going to mean direct access to the company's founders. It's going to have all these perks like exclusive dinners, family office. Well, that's this personal concierge service on the family office level is going to be a very, very top-notch legal and financial kind of guidance. Yeah. And basically how you pave your way to the club is, just qualification 10 opens the door, and qualifications 11 and 12 expanded privileges. Yeah, more information on this you can request from the people who invited you. And yeah, well, basically all this classical network business system has always been based on really cool human values. You do get a personal mentor every time you're being invited by a person who's been with the company as a partner for some time. And that means that that partner has already gone through a training system. And what that means is step-by-step programs about the product, about the sales. It's very good not only for beginners actually, but for people of different qualifications and professions and expertise level and so on. Because not only you study ready materials, but you also get daily support, which means you learn on an ongoing basis. You can participate in online events. Not everybody likes that, but some people really, really enjoy being in this kind of social environment, in this webinars, meetings with with people who have succeeded already. And then of course there's social media support. So that doesn't mean that you would be on your own in this in these waters. So no experience in this case is required. Why we say that? Because surprisingly, the best results sometimes are being with the people who have never done that before, and they're coming from such strange professions as like military, teachers, nurses, kindergarten teachers. I mean, like this is like crazy. So the training system and the mentor can actually guide you and your talents towards better results. I guess we're done for today. There's been a lot of information. I hope you are not too tired. I suggest that we would rather, go into the Q&A section, because this product is quite complex, and the business system is also quite multifaceted. Yeah. So please go ahead and Ask questions if you've got any.